Welcome to part 2 of Nick's Enigmatica 2 server tour. Alright, so there's a few things I actually missed, and I want to make sure I include everything because, you know, people spent time on things. I don't know who built this, but it's a little farm, cute little farm, with a glass kind of sand biome in it, and then a farm. And then over here, we have a black tower. I want to say John was gonna make this. John, I always forget his last name. We had 4 Johns on the server. It's really confusing. Lucid, aka Master Cone, I believe was his Minecraft username. So that was that. I don't know who built those 2 things, but still looks cool. We're also gonna quickly take a trip to the moon base. So, to use this teleporter, you just hit dial. And then you... Okay, I kept hitting the wrong button. And then you teleport. So, this is Bryce's moon base. I think John Henry made a little moon base, but he said it was small and he never really used it, so we're not gonna worry about it. He can be salty if he wants. Okay. So you see, moon, low gravity. Got trees growing out. I don't know how that's possible. There's also a farm. Quite interesting. Because it's not in the dome, it's outside the dome. And the ones in the dome are not growing. So, we don't know what that's about. You can see Earth. Or the overworld, I guess, as you call it in Minecraft. That's the moon. I don't think there's anything truly important back there, but that's it. The satellite, not very important. End portal, not very important. I was told there's not much there. Satellite just has my 2 death waypoints at it. And then, now, we will go to Darkreach and Lightreach. I think I will do a quick kind of fly around of Lightreach, and then I'll come back. But first, let's look on the map. I think we're gonna go to Brent's village. So Brent had a small little village over here. That's where he did his stuff. A little bit farther than I expected. Brent built in a village, and he had some stuff. I don't know what mods he was working on. I don't know how half of the stuff in this game works, though, so it's hard to say. I think this is blood magic. Yes, blood magic. Spider. Don't think that's part of the mod. I'd never have experimented with this, but it looks really confusing. You have to put things in certain orders, and you need the red stone with the white stone. It looks really confusing, and a while ago someone told me it didn't work very well, so I avoided it. I avoided all mods, actually. I spent most of my time working on building again. That's just how it went. I did make a little area, I'll show you later, for Botania, but I never did anything with it. So this is Brent's base. Got some stuff. Immersive engineering turrets. A woo. Brent's village. Also, again, Brent was pretty secluded, but I still think he kind of visited Roanoke a lot. It wasn't too big of a deal. Alright, let's head to John's base. This is John, not John Logger, not John Club, not John Henry, but you guessed it, Lucid. Master Cone himself. Literally logged on the server probably 30 minutes ago to give me his base quartz. Because I forgot where he was exactly, and I wanted to make sure that I got his stuff in. Because he had 10 hours on the server. Even though his base is pretty small. It makes perfect for the video because I can jam this all in. Hopefully. I tend to ramble about things a lot though. So John was working on the Ancient Warfare mod, which is pretty neat. There's his courier, I believe. I think what he said was the mod doesn't work very well with multiplayer. You need to like have all these workarounds and stuff, so that was kind of disappointing. I'm assuming John Henry had some similar thing with the Mine Colony mod, but I'm just not sure. I can't really say for sure. I think this is like going to be a mill or something. And then we have his farms. And his house. His long house. Storage room, I'm assuming. Room unused for later use, probably. Engineering station, research station for the ancient worker mod. Sad that it didn't work. I'm sure that kind of discouraged him too, because I mean, this looks like it would have been really cool. Just based on like reading it in the quest book that you get in this mod pack, you can see looks very interesting. But things always don't work well together, sadly. Alright, on to my, you'll see the waypoint, it's just called Underground Base. That's just how it goes. I came up with a name later, inspired by Skyrim, to have the above ground portion, which we're looking at right now, be Lightreach, and the lower part be Darkreach. In Skyrim, there's a big underground place called Blackreach. So, Katie was mostly in charge of Lightreach, but then she started making things underground, which is actually pretty cool anyway. I think it turned out better. Oh, français, s'il vous plaît. Madame, oh la la. Oh, cherry juice. Oh, my favorite.
Alors vas-y, explique-moi. Pourquoi toi t'as pas peur?
So you see, toilet. You can see there's a fine facility here. No roof, open roof, sunroof, partially, and then we have a nice cliffside. Falling gravel might happen, but it's just like workplace. It's part of the experience, like remember the Cave of Tears? It's like that. It's part of the experience. Once again, pretty unfinished. I think John Henry made this over here. I don't understand why. I don't know how the mod works, so there must have been a particular reason though. This is going to be a farm. It's just a brick house, but I was told it was going to be a farm. I'm assuming maybe something out the back like that. Here's one of the actual completed buildings, the forge, which actually isn't completed because we don't have a smeltery in it. But that's fine, we have the armor. Got the lava. Like lots of lava. Forge. We found out about this mod, Architecture Craft, and oh, it was so cool. You could basically make any block into like micro blocks, basically, and like slanted roofs, stairs, slabs, whatever you wanted. Here's one of the houses. I don't think anyone was actually living in this house, it was just more of a show. A pathway going through the mountain. Here's the tunnel to Darkreach. As you can see, we teleported here earlier, the Darkreach Visitors Center. This is where I first kind of started making everything. Thank you, Bryce, for the teleporter. That was neat. So I had all these caves, and I had ideas for all these caves. I was going to have things lead, and at the time I was getting a lot more done on the server as well. But, more fun games. Only so much time. I made a little room down here. There's another room with kind of like a secret entrance over here. From the trees. Except this water didn't actually catch you, like break or fall. You'll see. That was that. And then we get into the big part. Welcome to Darkreach. So this one, I definitely spent more time on this one, or it feels like I spent more time on this one than the other one. You can see I took the short way, but there's actually a path going all the way down. You'll see the city center. So I kind of made this spiraling path all the way down to this area right here. The vines They looked a lot better when they weren't as long. But it was still pretty cool. So, the other way you could have taken was to the, at the first turn, was the nature area. This is probably one of the more long ones because I wanted to cover everything in grass. Getting a silk touch pickaxe was half the battle. A few of the animals died, and the wolves killed some of the animals too, so it was just kind of like, this is what you're seeing, the remnants of what animals survived. I did have a butterfly spawn naturally down here, which I thought was really cool. I think it's this one right here. Yes, the canary speckled wood. I'm pretty sure it's a butterfly or a moth. One of those. Yeah, here. This is where I was going to do my botania stuff. My botania, I don't know how to say it. Kind of had this natural waterfall up here, so I made it into a pool, and then I just made it into a waterfall. I used EFLNs and Vein Miner to do most of this. Once again, I don't think I mentioned in the first part, this is all done in survival. No one used creative for anything. There was a lot of stuff in the mod pack that helped us do it, but overall, all done in survival. Which is pretty neat, I think. It feels more accomplished when you can build things like this. So, Katie ran a real estate company down here. You'll see. It was called Dwellings Real Estate Company. We're open. You can see all the reviews. It's kind of confusing because there's multiple Johns on the server, so you don't really know who said what. It's a little too much like a cave. Like a cave too, but other than that, I guess it's okay. I mean, it's an underground city. What did you expect, M Rebel? Oh my gosh, good. John. I got it for free, so oh, we're not supposed to show that. Okay. These were all paid for. Yeah. Here's the storage shed. This is just an underground highway. There's actually nothing down here but a ladder. I was gonna make more underground tunnels like I did last time, but it didn't happen. Here's the storage room. I think almost every single one of these chests is filled, or at least mostly filled. This had to mine out a lot. To make this kind of main area at first, I used a ton of obsidian TNT that I got from a quest reward, which is where I had the idea to make kind of like an explosive. Because on the other server it was more like a square. So yeah, let's check out people's rooms. We'll start with this one because it's empty. Most of them were kind of like that. We're gonna put more commercial areas and more residential spaces over there. This is Brent's room. You can see his table is floating. He has a nice balcony. Here's the vacant economy signs. Katie's room. She didn't actually build anything in it. Free cobble. We'll go to that in a second. Here's Mishkat's room. We had actually, if you saw my previous video, I had to kill a lot of those chickens because they were breaking the server. In fact, you'll see John's base. Where is it? He would come over here to this part, and his game would lag like crazy, and he literally just could not come over here for a long time. In fact, some people's like games were just like crashing. So finally I took some explosives to the chickens. This is Maya's room. I think it's one of the cooler rooms down here. She's got a horse, she's got a hedgehog. She's got a smiley cloud, a bed. Her room is actually really cool. IMO. Oven, fridge. It's important, you gotta keep your furniture in your fridge. Maya's room. Next we have John Henry's room. You can see it has a red carpet, some shelves, stuff like that, paintings. It's Twilight Forest trophies. I don't think he finished Twilight Forest this time around, but he did it last server, so it's like, what's the point? Here we have Nick's room. No one's home, surprisingly. You can see he has targets. I don't know the point of those, but maybe it's like a joke and I'm just not the right target audience. Here we have loggers. His head, we never put his head. Usually we had people's heads on their doors, but we didn't have his. You can see he has a marble floor, but he did not really put much else in here. So, those are the residential rooms. Thank you, Katie, for all the help once again. Seriously, I love the help I get from people. Freshly stolen produce. I had taken Brent's food out of this white bag and put it in there a while ago. But yeah, he left me a note. My food. Please, Corbin. I wasn't aware of the food donations. I'm actually gonna starve. Please give my food back. So, Chris. Alright. Trying to think what else. Okay, so I think that's all that for this layer. Now we'll go on to this layer. I never finished it. This is what I was working on next. You can see I had another storage shed over here where I was putting all the materials that I was blowing up. Or vein. I think I was using vein miner for this one. I was gonna have an elevator on this pedestal that went up to the pathway, and that would be like the main form up and down, unless you wanted to use the vines. But by then, most people were already flying anyway. So with glowing porous fruit and stuff. So I think we'll do a double check, make sure we got everything down here. But yeah, most of these caves, especially like down in the bottom part, I never even bothered exploring. There was actually way too many, because I mean, I just like would go in one direction. It's like tons of stuff. Like I did not even come close to exploring that much of it. So this is the end of part 2. Part 3, we're gonna wrap things up. Hopefully I didn't miss anything over by this part, but it's just so big and I haven't been on in a while, so it's hard to remember. See you on part 3.